We are happy to be at the Mississippi Coliseum. We are happy to be at Hobnob, 21st Annual Hobnob put on by MEC. And I am happy to be joined by Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann. Governor, how are you?
We're doing great. Actually, we're having a good day, and it started early, and we'll have a lot of the business leaders in the state will be here in about the next hour or two. Looks like they got seats here for a couple of thousand. So it's always a real positive event. It's always done this time of the year. MEC does a great job bringing people together, and you'll hear more than the normal stump speech today. I think you'll hear where people are going and what they think ought to be done. Yeah, I know you listened to Commissioner of Agriculture here just a moment ago on things that he'd like done, and you'll hear the same from
everybody else today.
Cheney and Lynn Pitch and Michael Watson, the whole group, and the governor's coming, I think, about 9, so he'll have his platform as well. It's always a good warm-up going into the session.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. As every statewide elected official is going to be speaking today.
They are.
Yourself included.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And the Speaker Gunn as well. We'll have an opportunity to talk about the House side of things. So.
Right, I know. So we're looking forward to that, and we had a long meeting with Speaker Gunn just a couple of days ago on what we're both headed towards. We'll be meeting again, I think, tomorrow on getting our agendas together.
So talk to me a little bit about, you're obviously going to have an opportunity to address this crowd of probably over 1,000 business leaders from across the state. What is your message to the business community right now?
Well, we'll start with where we are. That's all. You always start with where you are, I think. And we've had probably the best 3 years in the history of Mississippi legislature. I don't say that because I was there. I don't get to vote on anything, as you know. I'm just preside over the Senate. But the work that we've done in the last 3 years is pretty staggering. I think you'll hear us talk about how we spent our American Rescue Plan money. We matched $450 million of water and sewer for towns and asked them to apply, and they applied for $434 million. So that means just short of $900 million of water and sewer will go out. We put $300 million in rural water associations all over the state of Mississippi. Our rural water go out. We started 2 years ago on broadband. Last I heard, we've had over 100,000 new people on broadband. The largest teacher pay raise in the history of the state, about $246 million. That followed a $1,000 a year raise the year before. Largest tax cut is $500 million. You just look across the board at what we addressed in the last few years, and it's everything from mental health to health care. I mean, it's just a pretty phenomenal thing, and we've got a big year coming. There's a lot of things to do, and that I guess groundwork that we laid at the start. You know, Russ, when we started by cutting the budget by 2% 3 years ago. People tend to forget that now, but we cut the budget, and now we were very judicious about the state government. We've lowered the number of employees from 26,000 to 23,000. So we have shrunk government. Now, that's probably never been done, but we did it. And in addition to that, we have paid off $295 million in debt, and we'll pay off another $305 million this year. We're not borrowing any money. That's also never been done in Mississippi history. So you pay off $600 million, you shrink the size of government. It's a pretty amazing thing. You're still able to pay teachers and infrastructure. This year, Russ, we have put up $2.1 billion in road and bridge construction. $100 million of that goes to county roads and bridges, those ones that have fallen out of repair for different reasons. And the actual contracts, I've been big on that. Russ, we went out and the actual contracts, we've been pushing and working hard with them. The actual contracts that have hit the ground this year are $963 million. Almost $1 billion of contracts lit to go to work. So this is not like mythical money. You're fixing to see barrels and backhoes all over Mississippi on our county roads and bridges and on our state roads. So all of that has really led us to the best financial conditions we've ever been in. We have $1.6 billion in the bank in cash. We have $700 million in our rainy day fund, $350 million in our American Rescue Plan money. the state is sitting on $2.5 billion of money, and that comes from lowering our budget, lowering the size of government, paying off our debt. Basically, and this is a foreign concept, I know, we're running the state government like a business.
Yeah.
And just like every other business, and we're preparing for a recession, which I believe we're either in, depending on who you talk to, and you could talk about that, or we're going to shortly be in a recession. And so we prepared ourselves with our paying down our debt and keeping our cash so that we can continue our operations on education and the things we think are important. Those will continue through a recession. So the planning part of this is just coming to fruition. We knew it couldn't last. We couldn't have that kind of economy forever. So as we go into this recessionary period, for how long it lasts, we'll be financially viable to continue to build roads and fix bridges and pay teachers and all the things we're supposed to be doing as a state. So I don't know that the state has ever been in the financial condition it's in.
Well, and when I think about sort of the flurry of challenges that you guys have faced and also the flurry of activity that has been generated, it is pretty incredible. I mean, you certainly had at the beginning of your term as lieutenant governor a prison crisis. We had all kind of weather events in Mississippi. We followed that up with, a global pandemic with COVID and the impact that had on operations, not only of government, but businesses across the state of Mississippi.
Absolutely.
And then some of the issues that you guys have tackled, from the flag to teacher pay to the tax reform, ARPA, which you've talked about. There's just been probably more activity, and I've been watching government and been involved at some level with government for a very long time. In the last 3 years, it has been accelerated at a dramatic pace, the kind of activity that's going on.
Yeah, I'm using my old marathon training, man. We're running as fast as you can go for as far as you can go.
So, excuse me, as we head into 23, obviously 2023 is an election year. Sort of the worst kept old adage in capital circles is nothing happens in an election year. I don't get the sense that that's your MO, though.
It's not.
and so tell me kind of what you're thinking about as we head into this session.
Well, we never want to waste time that the good Lord gives us, and we have an opportunity here facing a recession to do some smart things. And there are a number of them. You'll hear me talk about them today. I'm very pleased with our matching the cities and counties. That's just been a phenomenal asset to have our state resources that were given to us by the American Rescue Plan put to match state resources that were given to them by the American Rescue Plan. So I want to look at those and make sure we have $434 million offered. I want to make sure that that's sufficient and we don't need any other money for construction and whatnot in cities and counties. I think that's real important. We addressed mental health before. We need some help on mental health. We have people that are that really should not be in jails around Mississippi that are, just because we don't have room in mental health. We devoted some of our money last year. I anticipate we'll see that again. Our Child Protective Services has improved significantly, but you will see some monumental changes, I think, in that. Senator Nicole Boyd's been holding hearings on from birth to age 3.
She's sharp, by the way.
She's doing very, very well. Great committee that she's working with. I watched them yesterday, and they are committed to a whole bunch of different things, some of which may be more controversial than others, for fixing the adoption system, making sure people that do take these children, and we have 4,000 or 5,000 of these children in our care at any one time, making sure that their people are getting paid sufficiently to take care of these kids and feed them. And that helps us in human trafficking and a whole number of other things. She's quite clear about postpartum. The Senate had passed that last year. We're pro-life and we want to be pro-child. And I can't really marry those two. I don't understand how we can't do both of those. So she's going to generate a lot, and I've got a whole list here. I know we're coming up on a break here, but I'll if you'll give me a couple of minutes after, I'll tell you where we're
that'd be great. And real quick, we are headed into a break, but as we talk about ARPA, part of that is what is Jackson going to do with its water system? Do you see a path forward to fix Jackson's water system?
You mean it today?
Yeah.
No.
What needs to happen?
Well,
In 44 seconds, what needs to happen?
Well,
cooperation.
Let me go into that in a little detail on the meetings that I've had with everybody from the sheriff and the police chief to the board of supervisors to the mayor to the city council to the congressman and everybody else, and I'll be happy to disclose those with you and tell you where we are.
Excellent. We've been talking with Governor Delbert Hosemann about what's going on in the state of Mississippi. We're down at Hobnob today. Come and join us. Registration opens at 8:30.